Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to be looking at Ethereum, its valuations against Bitcoin, as well as the US dollar, looking at how Ethereum right now is primed and ready. Remember, if you do like this video and the other videos that I make on this channel, be sure to hit the like button down below and also consider subscribing. So, with Ethereum today, let's take a look at the Ether Bitcoin chart. I initially had this line here. We talked about this um, consolidation of price, having higher lows, right? We had three instances of higher lows and lower highs. And on the third attempt, we broke out. Now, one thing I was concerned about that, would be semantics, I guess, is raising the line here to line it up a little better at the tops. But for this week, we broke through it. You can't necessarily move this line even higher because it doesn't line up with this candle right here. So I think it's safe to say that we are seeing Ethereum on the verge of breaking out. If Ethereum is able to close the week this week, and the week is still long, it's 5 days left, 6 days left. Um, However, if we are able to close above this, this is very bullish. And this is what I'm talking about Ethereum being primed and ready. When we look at the US dollar chart, one thing to take note of is we saw a dip, right? We saw a dip for the past 2 weeks. We saw a wick down. I anticipate perhaps we'd get to the 20-week moving average, much like how Bitcoin was going to head over to the 20-week moving average, or at least the 21-week moving average. And actually, since we are here, I'd like us to take a look at the 21 week, but I don't think it quite got there just yet. Yeah, it didn't. So with that said, we didn't quite get uh, we didn't quite get to support. However, because Bitcoin is now potentially bouncing off the 21-week EMA, this can mean a couple things. So if Bitcoin rallies, and that'll be the scenario that we're painting today. If Bitcoin rallies, say to new all-time highs, right? We beat out 69,000, we're at 75,000 or whatever. Um, the theory goes the Ether Bitcoin valuation might not do as well. It potentially could bleed against Bitcoin, but its US dollar valuation would probably still rise. And you can see instances of this throughout Ethereum's cycle in comparison to Bitcoin. The good news is on this time around, Ethereum, Ether Bitcoin's doing extremely well. It's up 7% for this week alone, up 4.5% for today. So, with that said, even with a bullish Bitcoin, Ethereum is breaking out against Bitcoin, which is extremely bullish. And so, with that said, keep an eye on Ethereum as it most likely will be doing some pretty crazy things. Um, for the rest of the quarter potentially, and moving on into 2022. And when I mean moving on to 2022, I don't mean the entire year, but perhaps the first quarter of 2022, we could see some crazy stuff happening. And this is why I think when we talk about Bitcoin, when we talk about Ethereum, the two largest cryptocurrencies in the market, it's imperative to have these assets in your portfolio. Yes, they don't potentially might not give you the as much gains as say a 200 ranked coin, but I can assure you that when Ethereum can rally, the against the US dollar, when we just look at it for 2020, right? For the fall to the last peak was a 1200% move, right? The risk is considerably low in comparison to other altcoins, and yet you're still able to post those kinds of returns. To me, that seems like a no-brainer. To me, that shows to me that these assets are required within your portfolio to delever to de-risk your portfolio, but still be exposed to pretty good returns, right? So with that said, um, where should we expect Ethereum to go? How it's going to affect the rest of the market? So Ethereum right now is currently trading at $4,699.13. The prior all-time high was a wick to 4,945. But this wick right here on the week of November 8th, The close of that price was 46.27. So if we were to close today, we would technically put in the highest weekly close essentially for Ethereum. And so this is pretty exciting. And this is an amazing, very quick recovery, right? Very quick recovery. It could have easily been the scenario of Bitcoin continuing to bleed to the 20-week moving average and Ethereum bleeds along with it. Now that could still happen. Right, that could still happen. Bitcoin is up 2% for the week. I would like it to bounce. I'd like the narrative to be that we bounced off the 21-week EMA, and Bitcoin is coming back to the fold. And Ethereum and traders see that bullishness from Bitcoin and start uh, moving their liquidity into more riskier assets like Ethereum, although Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency, so the risk is relatively low in comparison to others. So that's kind of the scenario here. I anticipate Ethereum to continue to do well. I mean, it has been doing well this entire time. When we look at the RSI on the weekly, we're only at 67.62. It seems like there's a lot of room for growth to push further to higher highs. We can look at this RSI trend here and look to see that we are bouncing on this rising support level, quite similar to Bitcoin, right? If we take the line and move it up, we can see that it is kind of bouncing off of this rising support line here. So there's a lot of similarities between ETH and Bitcoin USD right now. With that said, what does this have to do with the rest of the market, right? So the rest of the market is not doing as well as Ethereum, which is interesting, right? When we look at Chainlink versus ETH, you could see that last week was terrible, right? We went down 15% against Ethereum for the Link ETH valuation, and we're continuing to trend down, right? There's no bottom in sight. We're down about 87% against Ethereum. Uniswap against Ethereum has reached its lowest low. When we look at Cardano Ethereum, it's been taking a crazy hit. It's continuing to go down. Hopefully, it can continue to go down so we can get a better valuation to buy. VeChain as well is privy to this. It's continuing to drop down. It's broke the floor of what was a pretty solid level for a number of weeks, but it has broke the floor on that. Binance Ethereum. Binance is actually doing pretty well, but I think if Ethereum is really going to continue to rally like this, Binance is going to have an extremely tough time keeping up with Ethereum, especially if this is the breakout that I think it's going to that I anticipate it's going to be. Even using regular TA, right? Like if we use regular TA, take it off the log, and bring this. Sorry, if let me do this properly. So what's the regular TA? You take the bottom to the top, and then you bring it up to the breakout point. Like the target here is going to be point one Bitcoin, right? Point one Bitcoin, and that will make Ethereum worth at least 1/10 of Bitcoin, which would make it at current prices $5,827. Um, so with that said, what kind of percent move is that from where we are to $5,800? And that would be a 26% move to the upside. Pretty decent stuff for Ethereum, considering that it is the second largest cryptocurrency in the market. So with that said, potentially a very big move for Ethereum in the short-term future. And if that is the case, then expect altcoins to tend to kind of not be able to keep up with Ethereum. Um, so that would include Chainlink, Uniswap, Cardano, if VeChain. These are the main kind of altcoins that I talk about with their valuations against Ethereum. But you can use it with any others. Like Aave is another. Aave is another asset that I hold in my portfolio that you can compared to Ethereum, and you can see that like Aave is also not doing very well against Ethereum. From its peak to where we are now, it's an 80% drop against Ethereum, which is insane. Like it's a pretty nasty drop. So That is kind of the scenario that I anticipate. Uh, definitely you can anticipate something else. You can um, take the theory that altcoins in general. So if we just look at total two, and look at Q1s over the past number of years, all coins do very well in total in Q1. And so that's not only Ethereum being bunched into total two, that's Chainlink, that's Uniswap, that's all your other altcoins as well. So that is definitely on the table as well. But we might be talking a little too far ahead here. We're the last day of November. Tomorrow's December. We still have one more month left of Q4, and then we have January, February, and March. So we're talking 4 months left until the end of Q1 of 2022. So that's a long time. There's a long time for things to happen and change, right? We could see Ethereum move up in December and bleed in Q1, um, which is, potentially unlikely because if you measure Ethereum's move in Q1, it does the best in Q1. The performance of January, February, March is the best compared to all others. So that's something to take into consideration as well. All in all, Ethereum, bottom line, is doing extremely well. One of the best performers as of late. If we just measure, Ethereum USD, it's up 10% for the month of November compared to Bitcoin, which is down 4.5% in the month of November. In comparison to Chainlink, which is down 12% in the month of November, Uniswap down 15% in the month of November. Basic attention token, kind of an outlier right now, up 51%. Celsius down 12%. I could go on and on. Cardano down 18% against the US dollar. So you can see Ethereum, one of the best performing assets, in the month of November. Surprisingly enough, Litecoin up 12% in the month of November. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I'm pretty excited about Ethereum. Just as a sake of clarity, Ethereum is my second largest position in my portfolio. In addition to that, I did open in the month of November a futures contract on ETHUSD. So my anticipation for gearing up for the new year, I anticipate Ethereum to do well for the next 4 months or so. Um, which leads me to make a futures contract for that duration essentially. Anyway, that's all for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.